Hello, everyone. I'm glad that you're joining me today. I'm Melody, also known as Melody's Light in the Darkness, for those of you who do not know me. I am called to speak out. I am an influencer. That is my calling. And with that comes much teaching and edifying, building up the church as well. I want to talk to you about Christ and how is it that he was able to love all the people, the demon-possessed people, the sick? How is he able to see them? Because we know in Scripture, it talks about how he loved them. We need to understand that when there is an unclean spirit in a person, which is more than people really realize, it is very broad. There are more people even today, I believe, that have unclean spirits in them. So first, I think what we need to understand here is that we all know that we have our natural state, and our natural state of being is purity. It's goodness. So we do good and we speak good. And then we know that uncleanliness is where we speak unclean and we do what's unclean. This means that on the most part, I'm not going to say everybody, but on the most part, many have what we call unclean spirits with them. So when Jesus saw people, because he could discern spirits, he could discern them. So he knew if someone had an unclean spirit in them. So he could separate the unclean spirit from the person. He saw the person, not the unclean spirit that was in them, and he loved them. It was the unclean spirits that he hated, that he didn't like. And so he was casting them out of people. And so when we see people, we are to love those people no matter what. No matter what kind of evil they're speaking or doing. Because they are not in their human form. Meaning their natural state. That's what I mean by that. Their natural state. Because the unclean spirit is supernatural, it's working through them also. So there'll be times where, they will be very loving, very good to you. They'll be saying wonderful things and doing good things, and then the next moment, they are doing very evil things and saying very evil things and things that you're like, where is this coming from? And then you're thinking to yourself, I don't understand. Why is this person acting like this? This person was just like this. It's because they have an unclean spirit with them. And this is most people. I do believe I've been given the gift of discerning of spirits. It is one of my gifts, and I've received it actually as of late. And this is how I'm able to understand people. I can see into them. But by me explaining it to you will help you to understand that nobody really wants to be evil. They don't. They want to be good. They don't want to have an evil spirit with them. But what they also don't understand is that living in sin and doing sinful things is what brings that evil spirit to live with you. You know, we don't want to allow ourselves to indulge in getting drunk and drunkenness. We don't want to allow ourselves to indulge in drugs, because this is what can allow these evil spirits to enter to where you're like hitting people, you are murdering people, you are just saying horrible, evil things to people. So you need to understand that if someone, is getting drunk and doing drugs, it doesn't mean that they have an evil spirit with them. So please don't take this out of proportion. And don't go to that person and say, hey, you know what? You have an unclean spirit and you are possessed with a demon. Don't you dare take out of proportion what I'm speaking to you right now. Because you don't know, because you don't have the gift of discernment. My whole point of coming on here is I'm asking you to allow yourself to see more like Jesus. Don't judge an individual. But I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about allowing yourself to see that person as God's creation. As a person that was made and formed in its pureness just like you. Instead, I want you to look at that person with love. As a human being, as an individual that may possibly be acting out the way they are, doing evil, cruel things as they are, because they somehow manage for an impure spirit to enter into them. There are more people being released of impure spirits more than ever. And there are. This is happening today. Some are fake, yeah. We're always going to have, falseness around us. But there is also truth in this going on as well. And something else I want to address is that, we have many homeless among us. And, some of us want to do, our good deeds, good diligence in society. And we go and we serve the homeless, a Christmas meal, a Thanksgiving meal. We donate our time in some way. But I want you to look at them the same as I told you. Do not be looking at, oh, they smell bad. They are on drugs, so I don't really want to really interact with them. They're dirty. I don't want you to see them like that. Instead, I want you to allow yourself to interact and allow yourself to see the person that they actually really are. Now, we have all types of homeless, just like we have all types of people that are not homeless. Okay, we have, homeless that have, things that they enjoy doing, hobbies, just like the people that aren't. Actually, I was talking with a homeless woman, and, she really likes to draw. She loves it. It's her hobby. And then there was a homeless man that, he really is into plants. He really got into that. He has a book on all the different plants, and because he's homeless, well, he hangs out in the nature areas, and he matches up his book with a plant book with the different plants. And these people have feelings too. They aren't any different than you. They have feelings, they have emotions, they feel love, they feel sad. They have all the different same emotions and that you do. They just don't have a place to live. As a matter of fact, I find that I enjoy talking with them more than I do people that aren't homeless. They're humble. They allow themselves to be vulnerable. They like to talk about Christ. They like to, be involved in what is good because they're in a humble state. Yeah, they're more real, I find, than people that aren't homeless or in a vulnerable state. I've really met some very great, wonderful homeless people. Yeah. So, and they even think wrong just like we do, yes, and some things, right? Like, for example, oh heck, this homeless guy, he just hooked up with this homeless woman just because he saw in her cart some things that he wanted, he could use her for. So yeah, it doesn't mean that they're, thinking right either. We have a little bit of everybody in the world, but there are some homeless people that really do have good hearts and mean well for everybody, but their circumstances cause them to be homeless. We don't treat people differently just because they don't have our same lifestyle. We don't. And it isn't acceptable before God. So I want you people, when you're out and about, when you're in the grocery stores, when you're out taking a walk, wherever you are in your life, I want you to allow yourself to have love for every person you see and every person that you meet, no matter what they look like, no matter how they're talking, what they're doing, whether it's to you good or bad. We must learn to allow ourselves to see like Christ, to love everybody, because everybody deep within themselves truly does want love, because we all came from God and God is love. I hope this helps many of you to see the world differently than what you have been, to see from a godly perspective instead of a worldly perspective that we have been conditioned to see and live by. Sending y'all much love and light, and I'll be on talking to you again soon, I'm sure of it.